Alright guys, before I show you, man, there's something about red on sports cars, just cars in general. Red is aggressive to me. I love it. I love the look of it. It's just popping, man. Especially this matching set, man. I can't wait to install it. It's so beautiful, but I'm just ready to get it on. Get some fuel going. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Seamless Garage, man. I'm excited tonight. It's a Tuesday night. I'm getting out here. Just a little update on the DSM. You want to check it out real quick. Man, we are getting there. We are getting there. We're really making some progress. So, looking good, looking good. Anyway, excited today because I got a lot of fuel components in. Got my FPR in, my fuel pressure regulator, my adjustable one. And I got in, to match it, I got in the fuel filter housing, AN fittings, stainless steel lines, you know, the works. So anyway, here we are. I'm going to open this stuff up and show y'all what's going on, but this is really it, man. This is really it. So all the good stuff, you know. I didn't, so like, remember that my DSM didn't come with a lot of stuff. It was a rolling shell. I would call it less than a rolling shell in some aspects because there was things missing that maybe another shell would have, but you know, it's whatever. The term is the term. But I was like, look, if I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna buy something, I'm not gonna go buy rubber hoses, I'm not gonna go buy OEM filter housing. I'm gonna go back with what I would originally want. So stainless steel lines on stuff, you know, this stuff's falling everywhere. Good job, Stevie. But anyway, like stainless steel lines, you know what I mean? Oil feed line, drain line. Look, I was a noob. Look, damaged that drain line just a little bit, you know, from not using aluminum wrenches and stuff, being a dummy. So that's another great thing about it, is I know how to make AN lines and stuff. That was my first couple there. But these already come pre-made, man. So I've got it made. And I was like, why not? You know what I mean? Some people are like, you had it pre-made? Well, it's actually part of a kit that Extreme PSI puts out. It's like, why not? Why not get it made where I don't have to deal with the hassle? I can just install it. You know what I mean? I don't mind making the lines, but why not get it if they already got it pre-made and cut and know the exact dimensions that I need and everything? Why not? So, all right, guys, before I show you, man, there's something about red on sports cars, just cars in general. Red is aggressive to me. I love it. I love the look of it. I almost didn't do it because I do see a lot of red, especially on FPRs. A lot of people use red because I think that was kind of like the generic color. But man, it's just popping, man. Especially this matching set, man. I can't wait to install it. It's so beautiful, but I'm just ready to get it on. Get some fuel going. I will tell y'all, I forgot to order something. So let me tell y'all what I ran into. A lot of the parts that I got from the other guy that I bought the parts from, and the block, the head, and everything, his car was a 90. Okay, so if you don't know much about DSMs on the first gens, bro, the difference between the 90 and the 91 are like night and day. A lot of people stay away from the 90s simply because of that, because they are proprietary compared to the rest of the DSMs. Their connectors are different. Just, they changed a lot of stuff. So anyway, this here is a 90, and if you can look how it's installed, look at how the bolts on this flange here for the fuel coming in, look at how it is clocked. So see how it's clocked? It was going to hit this TPS right here. So I had to order a new one. Well, what I did was I went on Performance Part Out, and they had some regular ones, but then they had this one with the AN fitting. And I was like, I know that I'm going to go AN anyway, But here's where I messed up, okay? Where I messed up is this is much bigger than this here, okay? Much bigger than this one. I think this is a -6, and I'm pretty sure this is either a -8 or -10, I think. Anyway, I need an adapter. So this kit install is not going to be complete, but it's going to be as close as we can without the adapter. So that'll be sweet. So anyway, let's get into it. Anyway, just one more little look at it, man. It's a nice kit. Now, the thing about Fuelab, so this is like the bee's knees when it comes to filters, and then this kit here with the just the FPR there, the pressure regulator for the fuel. There's a kit. I'm not sure if it's a complete Fuelab kit. I don't think it is. I think part of it is Extreme PSI. Man, if you're doing anything DSM, just go Extreme PSI. They have what you need. There's going to be other stores like STM and MA Performance or whatever they're called, MAP. And they're going to have a lot of the parts that you need. But Extreme PSI is going to have like DSM specific stuff, like stuff that they know that you need, like special made fittings and stuff that you can only get with them because it's specialized for DSM stuff. So anyway, this kit here with the lines and stuff pre-made, I mean, look, beautiful. And you can get this in the stainless steel with the red and blue like a lot of people like. You can get it like this, or you can get it with the black nylon style. It's like braided, but it's black. Anyway, this whole kit and stuff is Extreme PSI, if I'm not mistaken. So they've got these, they already know what you need, so they pre-fit that kind of stuff. And you got all your brackets, your fittings and everything. And then I went ahead, you can't find this bolt anywhere with a square head for the alternator, so, and I didn't have it. I keep running into that on this build, is no bolts, because I didn't have any to begin with. So a lot of times I'm able to use bolts from my actual bucket that I've got. Dude, I got bolts for days, but some of these are proprietary, like the square head here, okay? So like the square head, that's the alternator pivot bolt, so I had to get it. So I might as well. It was a couple bucks, man, a couple bucks. Grand scheme of things, not a big deal. That way I didn't have to hunt it down. So anyway, that's what I got from Extreme PSI this time. And we're going to go ahead and get this stuff installed and try to do that before the night is over. And then move on, man. Just making progress. I think I may have bit off more than I can chew, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it on this video. This video may not date well, but I want to get, right now it is January 10th. I would like to have it on the street by March 5th. That's a very ambitious goal. I mean, extremely ambitious, and I realize that now. Just because there's a lot of things that I still need. Very ambitious goal, but March 5th, and I'm not saying ready with the wrap on it and with the wheels I want, looking the way I want. I'm just saying road ready and can drive on the road and can cruise. Because I'd like to get up to import face-off. Not to compete, not to do any of that, but I'd just like to cruise up there. I want to go to some of these events, and dadgummit, I want my DSM going so I can get to them. So, because I don't want to cruise in just a regular car, man. I want my car. So anyway, it's project off the jack stands, you know what I mean? It's project off the lift. It's project get this car on the street. So we're not going to rush or cut any corners, but we're going to do as much as we can every day on this car. So anyway, follow along. We're going to get this installed. Alright, so we're doing some modifications here, so let me, I did it all off camera as far as like sizing everything up, but I'm going to give you a run through. So, anytime you're dealing with anything aftermarket like this, like, it's real simple, right? It's just a fuel filter or whatever. I've already got it mocked up and everything, tied in, we had that fitting. There's an adapter that you have to use that, like I said, Extreme PSI is really the only one that runs it. I think there's some others, but you'd have to know exactly the sizing. Instead, if you go to Extreme PSI, they got it for you already in the kit. So from the factory line, you have to have an adapter which goes to a double female that goes to the fuel filter. So And then what's cool, it's got the stainless line here. This is going to tuck underneath. It's hard to do one-handed. It's going to tuck underneath, and it's going to bolt to the rail there. But for now, like really what I'm trying to figure out is how to mount it, which I've already got it figured out, but that's what I was looking at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of the factory bolts right here already, one of the factory bolt holes. So it's not wide enough to do both. Let me show you. So the actual mount itself, here it is. It's not wide enough to do both, right? Like it won't. It looks like it will, but it won't. And you're like, oh, well, it's thin metal, stretch it. Yeah, well, then it wouldn't hold the filter anymore. So what I did is one side I've already got, let's see if we can get it focused. One side I've already got buttoned up. That's how I'm going to do that. That's a little M5 bolt, by the way, I think. And then on this other side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill it out, because what I found out is that the bolt that fits this size over here is much larger. See, that's that. Much larger than the hole here. It's terrible. It's hard to do on camera. Doesn't fit. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I've got me a drill bit here that's the same exact size diameter, maybe just a little bit bigger as this bolt, so that we're going to open that up. That way the bolt can fit through. We're going to use that bolt. And then, so fresh paint, right? Fresh engine bay paint. So I don't want to mess that up. So this happens to be the cap, just like this one here, that came off of the fuel filter right on each end to keep dirt from getting in the filter. I just cut this part off, made it flat. I'm going to use this as like a little cushion in between now it's still going to happen, okay, but I'm just trying to prevent the paint from chipping and stuff like that from this. Alright guys, so you just saw me assemble the regulator. I did, that was just a little mock assemble. Let me show you what I used thread sealant for. Used it for the vacuum line here, and then I also ended up using it for the actual gauge there. So it is installed, and you're probably like, what? So anyway, this is the bracket that came with the filter, or not the filter, but the actual pressure regulator itself, and it came with its own little kit. But what is cool about the Extreme PSI version is that, of course, it comes with the kit. So it came with, like I said, the stainless steel lines and stuff that fit perfectly. Like, check them out. But it also came with the fittings that I needed. So it came with the AN-6 fitting that I needed. It came with the return line fitting and the plug fitting. If you just got straight up the Fuelab regulator by itself, it wouldn't come with any of that. All it will be is the regulator and the gauge itself. So keep that in mind if you decide, like if you're doing a DSM, keep that in mind. And also keep it in mind if you're doing anything else, you're going to have to get the fittings separately. So just know that ahead of time. So, but what I was saying is Extreme PSI had their own bracket set up for DSMs. And so it's a 2-screw here and then a slot, you know, it's got a slot for both of them, but it's right there, okay? So I could have mounted this anywhere. That's what's cool about aftermarket parts and modified is I could have mounted this on the firewall anywhere. But I mounted it right there because it's easy to get to, it's easy to see. I can, you know, it's just kind of center of everything. It really is centered. There wasn't much modification needed. I will say that that custom bracket from Extreme PSI, I wish I would have got a picture of it, but I ended up having to modify it. I had to use the bench grinder over here and grind it down a little bit. That way the holes would line up. They actually weren't perfect. So I don't know what happened there, but that's fine. Easy peasy. That's easy. If that's all I have to do modification-wise, we got it made. So got that bolted up, and like I said, I could have chose anywhere I wanted to do it. So, but real cut and dry, guys, you know, on these FPRs. So I've got to run a vacuum line from here to the intake itself. That way the pressure changes whenever we increase boost. So, and you can like change this up and put this on the other side, underneath, whatever, or not underneath, but you know, whichever way you want to do it. But you just got to keep in mind that this one here, you've got to have your return line, and then you got to have a return line after the fuel pressure regulator, because you always install a fuel pressure regulator on the return line side. That's how it controls the pressure. And if you're not running a V6 or whatever, or not running a V6, I mean, you know, any kind of V engine, then you're going to need a plug. So anyway, got a long ways to go as far as getting that adjusted. That'll be after the engine's running, but they do look beautiful sitting in there. So with that being said, we're going to call it a night tonight. It is kind of late. It did take me a little bit longer than expected, but it didn't take long at all. It's just I don't use very much time out here during the week, so I only had about 2 hours to do all of this, and I got it done pretty easily. So anyway, we will see you guys on the next vlog probably that's coming up. So be out on the lookout for that. But anyway, I hope you got some info from this. I hope you maybe learned just a little bit, but really it's just documenting the process. Like I said, all this stuff is stuff like that. Like, it's my first time doing it. It's easy peasy, you know, like I'm a mechanic, so it's easy to do, but I'm not sitting here trying to do a how-to, okay? So anyway, with that being said, you guys have a good night, and we'll see you on the next one.